The planet was quiet, too quiet for Alex Mercer's liking. The sky burned with a strange mix of green and orange, and the sun hung low over jagged mountains in the distance. He brushed dust off his uniform and squinted at the horizon. The human exploration team had split up earlier to scan for resources and life forms, and now, alone, Alex felt a pang of unease. Stay sharp, he muttered to himself, scanning the alien landscape. His boots crunched over the glassy rocks that reflected the weird sunlight like scattered diamonds. The air was thin, and every breath reminded him of how far from Earth he really was. Alex's communicator crackled, but only static answered. He frowned. Damn it. They're too far. His team, Captain Reyes and the others, were probably seeing the same interference. He tapped the side of his helmet, trying to adjust the signal, but nothing worked. He moved carefully, sticking close to the edges of towering crystal formations. They glittered like ice, but were sharp and cold to the touch. Something about the silence made the hair on his neck stand up. It wasn't natural. Then he saw them. 3 figures emerged from behind a crystal ridge, moving with incredible speed and precision. They were tall, taller than any human he had ever seen, and their movements were fluid, almost like dancers. Their armor shimmered in the strange light, reflecting green and gold like liquid metal, but it was their eyes that caught him, fierce, intelligent, and unblinking. Alex froze. He didn't know what to do. Weapons could help, but against such agile opponents he wasn't sure they would. The figures stopped a few meters away, forming a tight triangle around him. "You are far from home, human," one said. The voice was musical but edged with steel. Alex's heart pounded. I'm just exploring. I mean, no harm." The aliens tilted their heads. They didn't step back. They didn't speak more. Instead, the tallest one leaned slightly forward and said, "You'll sleep between us tonight." Alex blinked, confused and alarmed. The tone was commanding, not threatening, but it sent a chill down his spine. He took a cautious step backward, trying to assess the situation. "Look, I think you've got the wrong idea. I'm alone and unarmed. I'm not a threat," he said, keeping his hands visible. The sisters, he decided to call them that in his mind, just stared. Their eyes seemed to see everything, weighing his thoughts, his intentions, even his courage. Alex swallowed. He had dealt with hostile aliens before, but never like this. Never ones who studied you as if reading your mind. One of them, shorter than the others but equally intimidating, circled him slowly. "We know why you are here," she said. "You seek knowledge. But knowledge has a cost." Alex tried to steady his breathing. His heart thumped like a drum in his chest. "I'm willing to pay, just tell me what you want from me." The tallest sister stepped closer. She towered over him, her presence alone demanding attention. "You will rest, and then we will see if you are worthy." Alex's mind raced. Rest worthy? He had faced countless challenges, but this was different. These weren't mindless predators. They were intelligent, disciplined, and possibly warriors. He forced himself to stay calm. Panic would get him killed. Okay, fine, I'll rest," he said cautiously. "But can you at least tell me where?" The middle sister extended a hand, pointing toward a cluster of crystalline structures half hidden in the rocks. "Follow, no tricks, no mistakes. We watch everything." Alex nodded, slowly backing toward the direction they indicated. Every step he took, he kept his senses sharp. He knew that one wrong move could end badly. As they led him, Alex couldn't help but observe them. Their armor was sleek, made from materials he had never seen. Their movements were coordinated as if they could read each other's minds. Every now and then they would exchange a glance, a subtle signal Alex couldn't understand, but he sensed it carried meaning. The journey was tense but silent. No words, no small talk. Just the sound of the wind whistling across the alien terrain and the faint crunch of his boots on the crystalline soil. After what felt like an eternity, they reached their outpost. It was an enormous structure built into a mountainside, composed of glowing crystal walls and strange twisting towers. It seemed alive, pulsating with an internal energy. Alex's jaw dropped. This is incredible," he whispered. The sisters didn't respond. Instead, they stopped him in front of a massive doorway carved from shimmering crystal. One of them gestured for him to enter. Alex stepped inside, and the interior was even more astonishing. Light refracted from the walls, creating patterns that danced across the floor. The air was warmer here, and the faint hum of energy vibrated through his chest. It felt alive. "You may rest here," the tallest sister said, "but do not sleep too long. Your trials begin soon, Alex's eyes widened. Trials? She nodded. We will see what kind of human you are. Only those who endure will understand. Only those who endure will survive. Alex swallowed hard. He realized this was no ordinary encounter. These sisters were testing him. And the phrase from earlier, "You'll sleep between us tonight," was not a threat of harm but a test of courage, trust, and endurance. He glanced at them, and for the first time, he saw a glimmer of respect in their eyes. They weren't predators. They were warriors, and they saw potential in him. Alex exhaled slowly, trying to calm his nerves. He had faced danger countless times, but nothing like this. He was far from Earth, far from his team, and yet he felt something stir within him, a spark of determination. He wouldn't just survive. He would show them the strength of humanity. That night, Alex lay between the sisters in the crystalline chamber. The energy of the place thrummed through his body, and he could feel the sisters' watchful eyes on him even as he tried to rest. Sleep came in short bursts, interrupted by visions of trials, challenges, and tests he didn't yet understand. When he awoke, the sisters were already moving silently around the chamber, preparing for whatever lay ahead. Alex's heart raced, but he rose to his feet. He had a choice: run, hide, or face the challenge. He chose to face it, because humans were not just survivors, they were fighters. And if these sisters wanted to see what a human was made of, they would not be disappointed. Outside, the alien sun rose again, painting the crystal mountains in fiery hues. Alex stepped forward, ready to meet the first trial, ready to prove himself. The adventure had begun. Alex had barely caught his breath after the strange night with the alien warrior sisters, when the tall one spoke again. Her voice, calm but firm, echoed in the crystalline chamber. "Your rest is over," she said. "It is time to prove yourself. The first trial begins." Alex stood quickly, trying to mask the nervousness that had settled in his chest. He had faced dangerous situations before, but nothing like this. He did not yet understand what these trials were, or how they would judge him, but he knew they were testing more than strength. Intelligence, courage, and endurance would matter. The sisters led him through a tunnel carved from glowing crystal. The walls pulsed faintly, as if alive, guiding their steps. Alex noticed that the air here was warmer, almost comforting, but he remained alert. Every shadow could hide danger. Every sound could be a signal. Finally, they arrived at a large chamber. Its walls were high and smooth, reflecting the light in hundreds of colors. The floor was uneven, filled with jagged crystal formations, and strange glowing symbols floated in the air. In the center of the room was a large platform, and on it a series of obstacles, narrow ledges, rotating blades of light, and suspended energy barriers. "This is the first test," the middle sister explained. "It will measure your agility and intelligence. You may not touch the energy barriers or you will fail. You must cross to the other side." Alex took a deep breath. His heart pounded, but he reminded himself of one thing. Humans had a gift that few other species did: adaptability. While the sisters might have strength and speed, humans could think, invent, and improvise under pressure. He studied the obstacles carefully. The ledges were narrow but stable. The energy barriers moved in patterns, predictable if observed closely. The rotating blades could be avoided by timing his steps. Slowly, Alex began to plan his path. "Watch closely," the tallest sister said. "You have one chance." Alex nodded. He stepped forward, carefully placing his boot on the first ledge. His movements were deliberate, every step calculated. The blades of light spun dangerously close, but he timed his jumps perfectly. Halfway across, he encountered a tricky section where two energy barriers moved in opposite directions, leaving a narrow window to pass. He paused, analyzing the rhythm, then leaped just in time, sliding through the gap without touching the barriers. The sisters watched silently, their eyes sharp. Alex could feel their assessment weighing on him. He wasn't just being observed, he was being judged. Finally, he reached the platform at the end. He stepped down, breathing heavily but triumphant. The middle sister inclined her head. "You have succeeded in the first trial. Few humans could move with such precision and patience. That is promising." Alex exhaled, relief flooding through him, but there was no time to rest. The sisters guided him to the next chamber. This one was darker, filled with strange, misty fog. Alex could barely see the walls. Shapes moved in the shadows, unknown creatures or perhaps illusions. "This is the second trial," the shorter sister said. "It measures your courage and decision-making. You must reach the other side without losing your way. Trust yourself and you may succeed." Alex nodded. He had always trusted his instincts, and he knew that fear could be overcome by focus. He moved slowly, feeling the ground beneath his boots, listening for sounds in the fog. Suddenly, a shadow darted toward him. Alex reacted instantly, stepping aside and ducking. His heart raced, but he forced himself to stay calm. Every time he thought he was cornered, another path appeared. He realized the fog was not hiding enemies. It was testing his observation and patience. Step by step, he moved forward, following subtle changes in the mist. The sisters observed silently, their expressions unreadable. Alex felt their presence like a pressure on his back, reminding him that he was being watched, evaluated. After what felt like hours, Alex reached the end of the chamber. The mist cleared, and he found himself in a room illuminated by a soft golden light. Relief washed over him, but the sisters were not smiling. They wanted more than success. They wanted determination, courage, and ingenuity. "You have passed the first 2 trials," the tallest sister said. "Now comes the third. This one will test your adaptability." They led him into a massive arena, circular and surrounded by high crystal walls. In the center was a strange contraption, a machine with moving parts, glowing tubes, and floating energy orbs. It looked complicated even to Alex's trained eye. "You must deactivate the machine," the middle sister explained. "But the path is not simple. You may use what you see or what you invent. Fail and you will start over." Alex approached carefully. He examined the machine, noticing the patterns of energy and the ways the orbs moved. They seemed chaotic at first, but he quickly saw a rhythm. Using his knowledge of physics and human technology, he adjusted his approach. He grabbed a nearby crystal shard and used it as a lever to redirect one of the orbs, careful not to break the delicate balance. Slowly, methodically, he moved the energy through the correct channels. The sisters watched silently, their eyes sharp as hawks. Finally, with one precise adjustment, the machine powered down. The orbs dimmed, the tubes stopped glowing, and the arena was silent. Alex took a step back, exhausted but triumphant. The tallest sister nodded slowly. "Few humans could accomplish this. Your mind is sharp. Your courage is impressive. You are promising," Alex exhaled. He felt a sense of pride, but also a realization. These trials were only the beginning. The sisters were not merely testing strength. They were looking for something deeper: resilience, courage, and the ability to think under pressure. As the day ended, the sisters allowed him a brief rest. He lay on the smooth crystal floor, staring at the ceiling, reflecting on what had happened. The trials had been dangerous, yes, but they had also revealed something within him he had not fully recognized: the adaptability and courage that defined humans. In the quiet of the chamber, Alex felt a new determination. He would continue to face whatever trials came next. He would show the sisters the true potential of humanity. Night fell on the alien planet, but Alex's mind remained awake. He imagined the challenges ahead, the unknown dangers, and the strange, powerful sisters who had chosen to test him. One thing was certain: he would not fail. Not because he was reckless, but because humans never gave up. As the soft hum of the crystalline walls filled the room, Alex Mercer prepared for the next day. The trials had only begun, but he already knew one truth: humanity was more than flesh and bone. It was courage, it was ingenuity, it was the refusal to surrender. And if the alien warrior sisters wanted to see what a human was truly capable of, they would not be disappointed. Alex Mercer awoke to the soft hum of the crystalline walls. He had survived the first trials, proving his courage, intelligence, and adaptability, yet he knew the journey was far from over. The alien warrior sisters were not done testing him. But today felt different. The tallest sister entered the chamber first. Her armor glinted in the alien light. "Alex," she said, her voice firm but not unkind, "you have passed the trials we set. You have shown courage, intelligence, and persistence. Few humans possess such qualities." Alex rose, bowing slightly. "Thank you," he said. "I've learned much, and I'm ready for what comes next." The sister's gaze softened. The trials were not merely for assessment. They were preparation. A threat approaches, a force that endangers both your species and ours. You must decide, will you fight with us? Alex's pulse quickened. A real threat, not a test. "Tell me more," he urged. The middle sister stepped forward. "An invader fleet moves through this sector. Their power is vast, and they take what they want without mercy. We cannot stop them alone. You humans, you may have ingenuity, we do not. Together we may have a chance, Alex nodded. He had faced danger before, and he knew one truth. Humans thrived when united with allies. I'm in. Tell me what to do. The sisters exchanged brief glances before the tallest spoke. We begin with reconnaissance. You will come with us and observe the invaders, learn their strength, their strategy, their weaknesses. Alex followed them out of the crystalline fortress and into the rugged alien landscape. The planet's sky burned with green and orange light, casting long shadows over jagged mountains. The sisters moved with incredible speed and grace, and Alex struggled to keep up, relying on his training and endurance. Finally, they reached a high ridge overlooking a valley. Below, strange ships hovered, their hulls dark and angular. Alex could see small figures moving across the terrain, mechanical drones, scouts, and soldiers. These are the invaders, the tallest sister whispered. They are methodical and ruthless. One mistake and we will be destroyed. Alex studied them carefully. I noticed their formations are predictable. They always position the drones in a triangle pattern, which leaves gaps at the edges. We could use that. The sisters turned toward him, their expressions unreadable. The middle sister tilted her head. Your mind works differently. This is what we hoped for. We must combine our strength with your thinking. Over the next hours, Alex worked alongside the sisters. They moved silently through the terrain, observing, noting, and planning. He suggested using shadows to mask their movement, leveraging alien tech to create temporary distractions, and combining their physical power with his strategic mind. At first, the sisters were skeptical. Human technology was primitive compared to theirs, but Alex demonstrated quick thinking, using simple tools to exploit vulnerabilities in the invader drones. They began to respect his ingenuity. Humans, the tallest sister said quietly. You are clever, Alex smiled despite the tension, and you are strong and disciplined. Together we have a chance. Suddenly, one of the invader drones spotted them. It hovered closer, scanning the ridge. Alex's heart pounded. Stay low, he whispered. He grabbed a piece of reflective crystal and angled it toward the sun, reflecting a blinding light directly into the drone's sensors. The drone faltered and crashed. The sisters observed him with a new intensity. They had tested his courage before, but now they saw his mind in action. Not just survival, but leadership, creativity, and bravery. As the sun began to set, they returned to the fortress. Alex's body was exhausted, but his mind was alive with possibilities. We can use the terrain, he explained. We can set traps, lure them into narrow passes, use ambushes. Your strength plus my tactics could work. The sisters listened carefully, nodding. Your ideas are sound, the middle sister said. We will follow your strategy if you lead. We trust your mind as well as your courage. Alex realized the gravity of what they had said. The alien warrior sisters, once formidable testers of his strength, were now allies willing to follow his lead. He felt a surge of pride, not arrogance, but confidence in what humans could achieve when they combined courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. Night fell over the alien planet, painting the crystalline mountains in deep blues and purples. Alex and the sisters set camp in a hidden cave near the ridge. He prepared a simple human meal from his supplies, sharing it with them. The sisters had no need for food, but they observed him curiously, intrigued by human habits. This is ritual? One asked, her voice filled with wonder. Meal, Alex said with a smile. Humans eat to strengthen ourselves and bond with allies. The sisters tilted their heads, studying him. You are strange, but valuable, the tallest one said. Alex chuckled softly. Humans can be strange, yes, but sometimes strange is useful. After eating, they spoke of the coming mission. Alex outlined a plan. Small strikes to test the invaders' defenses, careful observation of their movements, and setting traps in the terrain that only humans could predict. The sisters offered their combat skills, their agility, and their knowledge of the land. Together they formed a unique team, human ingenuity fused with alien strength. The next morning they began their first coordinated mission. Alex led the way, carefully choosing paths that used shadows, rocks, and energy fields for cover. The sisters moved silently beside him, their presence both protective and intimidating. Every step tested his ability to think quickly, to adapt, and to anticipate danger. They reached a narrow valley where invader scouts patrolled. Alex crouched behind a rock, studying their pattern. Wait for the moment when the left scout turns, he whispered. That will give us a clear path. The sisters nodded, watching him closely. Alex moved first, his movements precise and calculated. The sisters followed, fluid and graceful. Their weapons ready, but their judgment trusting Alex's guidance. When a drone approached too closely, Alex used a simple trap, a reflective crystal angled to disorient its sensors, and the drone crashed into a nearby cliff. The sisters watched silently, impressed by the cleverness of his strategy. By the end of the mission, they had gathered valuable intelligence. They learned the invaders' patrol patterns, the layout of their base, and the strengths of their technology. Alex and the sisters returned to their fortress, exhausted but successful. The tallest sister spoke as they entered. You have proven yourself beyond trials. You are not just human. You are a leader, a thinker, and a warrior. The alliance begins in earnest. Together we will face the invaders and protect both our worlds. Alex felt a swell of pride. He had come alone, tested by alien warriors, and now he stood as a partner in a powerful alliance. He realized that humans were more than survival instincts and courage. They were adaptable, creative, and capable of inspiring even the fiercest of alien warriors. That night, as he rested between the sisters, Alex reflected on the day. The trials had prepared him, but the real challenge was ahead. He would need every ounce of courage, strategy, and human ingenuity to confront the invaders, and he would not fail, because humans had a way of turning impossible odds into victory. The alien sun had barely risen when Alex Mercer and the alien warrior sisters moved toward the invaders' base. The valley below stretched like a metallic battlefield, dotted with strange vehicles and glimmering energy towers. Alex's pulse raced, not from fear but anticipation. Today, human ingenuity and alien skill would face a true test. The tallest sister, her armor catching the early light, spoke quietly. Remember our plan. You lead the tactics. We provide strength and speed. One mistake could cost all of us. Alex nodded. Understood. His mind raced, reviewing every detail: patrol schedules, drone behaviors, and the weak points he had observed during reconnaissance. We'll divide into 3 groups. The first will create a diversion. The second will disable the energy towers. The third will infiltrate the base. Timing is everything. The sisters listened, silent but attentive. Their expressions were unreadable, but Alex sensed respect. He felt a surge of confidence. Humans had a unique strength: strategy. Others relied on instinct or brute force, but humans could think, adapt, and coordinate under pressure. They moved into position. Shadows hid their approach, rocks and crystal formations shielding them from patrols. Alex crouched behind a ridge, signaling the first sister. She moved with lightning speed, silently disabling drones and creating controlled distractions. The invaders' attention shifted, just as Alex had predicted. He led the second group toward the energy towers. Using simple tools and a few alien devices the sisters had provided, Alex improvised a way to overload the tower's systems without triggering alarms. Sparks flew, and the towers dimmed. The invaders' automated defenses faltered, giving the third group a chance to infiltrate the base. Alex and the tallest sister led the infiltration team. Inside the invader base, the corridors were dark and narrow. Strange machinery hummed ominously. Alex's senses were alert. Every shadow could hide danger. Keep moving, he whispered. Stay close. The middle sister nodded, her eyes scanning for threats. Alex admired their coordination. They were powerful, disciplined warriors, but they also trusted him to make decisions. That trust fueled him, strengthening his resolve. Suddenly, a patrol appeared ahead. Alex ducked behind a console, signaling the sisters. They moved with precision, neutralizing the patrol quietly. Alex guided them through a series of twisting passages, leading them toward the central control hub. This is it, he whispered. We disable their command network and we cripple their operations. The sisters moved into position. Alex worked quickly, rerouting power and disabling security systems using both human logic and alien technology. Sparks flew and alarms began to blare. Alex's heart pounded, but he remained calm. Humans thrived under pressure. The invaders responded immediately, sending reinforcements. Alex signaled the sisters, who leapt into action with deadly efficiency. Energy blades flashed, Bodies moved with inhuman speed, and the corridor became a blur of light and shadow. Alex fought alongside them, using strategy to outmaneuver the invaders rather than brute force alone. They reached the command hub. Alex took the lead, overriding controls while the sisters guarded him. The invaders were relentless, but Alex's mind raced faster than their attacks. He redirected power flows, sabotaged critical systems, and sent false signals to confuse the enemy. Finally, with one precise adjustment, the invaders' network collapsed. Energy towers flickered, automated drones halted, and the base plunged into chaos. Alex and the sisters pressed their advantage, forcing the invaders to retreat. Outside, the battlefield had shifted. The invaders were disorganized, their formations broken. Alex signaled a coordinated strike, combining human tactics with the sisters' combat skills. Together they routed the enemy, securing the valley. As the dust settled, Alex looked at the sisters. They were battered but victorious, their armor scorched but their expressions proud. "You, humans," the tallest sister said, her voice filled with respect. "Your courage and mind. Impressive. You are not only strong but clever." Alex smiled. "It's not just me. It's all of us working together." The middle sister inclined her head. "This alliance is strong, perhaps stronger than we imagined. Your species has potential." For the first time, Alex felt the full weight of human capability. Strength, intelligence, and adaptability, combined with trust and teamwork. They had faced impossible odds and prevailed. But the battle was only a beginning. As night fell, Alex and the sisters camped near the battlefield, preparing for future encounters. The invaders would return, but now they knew that humans were not mere prey. Humans could fight, think, and lead. Humans could inspire even the fiercest alien warriors. And Alex Mercer, standing between the alien warrior sisters, knew that humanity had earned its place among the stars. The invaders had regrouped. Their warship loomed in orbit, casting a dark shadow over the alien planet. Alex Mercer and the alien warrior sisters stood atop the ridge, surveying the threat. The humans and the sisters had learned each other's strengths, and now it was time to apply everything they had gained. Alex spoke first. "We can't fight them head-on. Their numbers and firepower are too great, but we can use strategy. We've seen their weaknesses, their reliance on predictable patterns. We set traps, split their forces, and strike at their core." The tallest sister nodded. "Your mind guides us. Your courage inspires. We follow." The team moved swiftly. Alex directed each step. The sisters would draw the invaders into narrow passes, while he rigged terrain traps with alien and human tech. Energy fields were rerouted, cliffs were rigged to collapse, and reflective crystals were positioned to blind enemy sensors. The invaders advanced, confident and arrogant, but they were unprepared for human strategy. As they entered the valley, the traps activated, energy towers misfired, drones collided, and the terrain itself became an obstacle. Alex and the sisters moved through the chaos, striking at critical points. The battle was intense. Laser fire streaked through the air, metal clashed against alien armor, and the valley shook with explosions. Alex stayed focused, coordinating movements, signaling the sisters, and adapting to every new threat. Humans thrived under unpredictability, and he used it to full advantage. At a critical moment, the invaders' warship opened fire, sending massive energy blasts toward the valley. Alex spotted a narrow canyon nearby. "Lead them here," he shouted. "It's their trap now." The sisters obeyed instantly, guiding the enemy into the canyon. Alex activated the final trap. Crystals angled to reflect and amplify the invaders' own energy blasts, turning their weapons against them. Confused and overwhelmed, the invaders faltered. Alex seized the moment. Using a combination of human tactics and alien coordination, he led the sisters in a direct assault on the invaders' command units. The enemy leadership fell, and the remaining forces scattered in disarray. Victory was within reach. When the last invader fell, silence swept over the valley. Alex stood with the sisters, exhausted but triumphant. "You've done it," the middle sister said, her voice filled with awe. "You and your species? Remarkable." Alex shook his head, smiling. "It wasn't just me, it was teamwork. Humans, sisters, together. We were stronger than the invaders." The tallest sister placed her hand on Alex's shoulder, a gesture of respect and camaraderie. "You have proven humanity's worth. Your courage, your mind, your spirit, worthy of legends." As the alien sun set, painting the mountains in golden light, Alex looked at the horizon. The invaders had been defeated, but the galaxy was vast, full of unknown challenges. Yet he felt hope. Humans had something unique: ingenuity, courage, and the will to survive and protect others. The sisters gathered around him. "This alliance will endure," the tallest sister said. "Together, humans and warriors can face any threat." Alex nodded. "And we will. Humanity has always risen to the challenge. Together we'll protect this planet, and any others that need us." That night, Alex rested once more between the sisters, not as a test, but as an honored ally. The cryptic phrase from their first encounter, "You'll sleep between us tonight," was no longer a warning but a symbol of trust, respect, and partnership. As he drifted to sleep, Alex knew one truth: humans were more than survivors. They were thinkers, fighters, and allies, and in the vastness of space that would make all the difference. The stars above shone bright, carrying the promise of adventure, hope, and the enduring spirit of humanity.